I'm sitting in a coffee shop right now, 3 hours from the city where I grew up, drinking a latte that costs $9 and tastes like freedom with a hint of pretentious oat milk. My parents don't know where I live. My brother doesn't have my new number. And for the first time in a decade, my bank account is actually growing instead of being a money black hole that screams family emergency every 6 weeks. My name's Tyler. I'm 34 senior software engineer. And until 6 months ago, I was the human equivalent of a 24-hour ATM, except I also came with a guilt complex and a spreadsheet tracking where all my money went. Spoiler, it all went to my brother Cameron. Cameron is 37. He's never met a job he couldn't quit, a crisis he couldn't manufacture, or a family member he couldn't financially drain like a vampire with student loans. Growing up, Cameron was the golden child, charismatic, charming, had big ideas that never involved actual work. I was the quiet one, the responsible one, the one who did homework while Cameron threw parties. That somehow never got him grounded. I got a job at 16 stocking shelves at Target. Cameron needed to focus on his creative development, which is what my parents called it when he spent junior year writing a screenplay that never got past page 9. It was about a guy who discovers he's the chosen one, but decides he'd rather open a food truck. Foreshadowing is a literary device, folks. When you grow up as the responsible sibling, you become fluent in certain phrases. Cameron needs help right now. Can you pitch in? You're doing so well. Surely you can spare a little. And the nuclear option. Family helps family. That last one is the guilt bomb that turns your brain into soup and your wallet into a crime scene. Here's the financial massacre timeline. Age 24. Cameron drops out of college senior year. $30,000 in student loans. Can't get approved a loan. Parents ask me to co-sign. Just until he gets on his feet. Cameron makes 0 payments. I'm still paying that loan. Payoff date. 2027. I'll be 40. Age 26. Cameron needs a car, $5,000 down payment. I just landed my first real tech job. Had $7,000 saved, my entire emergency fund. Parents call it a loan. I call it money that's never coming back. The job lasted 3 months. I never saw a dime. Age 28. Cameron's getting married. To Sienna, a wellness influencer with 340 Instagram followers and a crystal addiction. Wedding costs $35,000. Parents contribute 10. Cameron and Sienna have 2. They need 8 more for the dream venue, a barn that charges $6,000 just to exist. Guess who got the call? The honeymoon was in Bali, all-inclusive. They posted 193 Instagram photos. I got paid back $0. I did get a thank you card that said, "Grateful for family," in calligraphy. I used it as a coaster. Age 29 to 32. The business idea era. 3 ventures, each dumber than the last. First, a food truck called Philosophical Fries. Existential crisis, curly fries. Nietzsche nachos. Failed after 4 months. Second, drop shipping artisanal phone cases. Failed after 2 months. Third, a consulting firm for life optimization. No qualifications, no clients. Failed after 1 month. Total across all 3, $15,000 of my money. What did I get? A shrunken t-shirt and a discount code for a website that no longer exists. Let me do the math. $30,000 in co-signed student loans, still paying. $5,000 car down payment. $8,000 wedding. $15,000 failed businesses. $2,000 random emergencies. Total, $60,000. That's a down payment on a house. That's a year living in Europe. That's my retirement account that doesn't exist. Meanwhile, I lived in a 1-bedroom with a radiator that sounded like a dying moose. Drove a 2007 Civic with no AC and a passenger door that only opened from the outside meal-prepped chicken and rice every Sunday because I couldn't afford to eat out. But last year, I finally bought a house, a 3-bedroom ranch. Nothing fancy, but mine. I closed on it, walked into the empty living room, and cried. My parents came to the housewarming, spent the whole time talking about how Cameron and Sienna were looking for something bigger. Cameron didn't come. He was at a brewery doing trivia night. Posted about it. Fast forward to 3 months ago. Sunday lunch at my parents' house. A tradition I dreaded but couldn't escape. I showed up at noon. Mom was making Cameron's favorite, pot roast with those little potatoes that take 3 hours. Dad was grilling steaks, the biggest one marked for Cameron. The table was set too nicely. Mom was wearing her serious conversation cardigan. Dad kept glancing at me like I was a bomb. Cameron and Sienna arrived 20 minutes late. Sienna wore a flowy dress covered in moons. Cameron had a man bun. "Tyler, good to see you, man." Cameron clapped me on the back. Sienna hugged me. Smelled like patchouli. "Your aura looks heavy. Have you tried sage?" "No. I've tried paying your husband's debts, though." She blinked. Mom shot me a look. We sat down. Everything was aggressively normal for 10 minutes. Then Dad cleared his throat. "Tyler, your mother and I wanted to talk to you about something." "Here we go." "Cameron and Sienna have exciting news," Mom added. Cameron grinned. "We're buying a house." I took a sip of water. "Congratulations." "It's in a great neighborhood," Sienna said. "Really good energy." The previous owners were artists. You can feel the creativity in the walls. "That's great. How much?" "Well," Cameron shifted, "it's listed at $425, but we think we can get it for $400. $400,000 for a guy who's never held a job longer than 6 months. How are you financing it?" Silence. Mom and Dad exchanged a look. "They've been saving," Mom said slowly. "And they have wedding gift money. But they need help with the down payment," Dad finished. "How much?" $25,000, Cameron said casually. I set my fork down. "No," Cameron blinked. "What?" "No, I'm not giving you $25,000. "Tyler," Mom started. "He's not asking for a handout." "Yes, he is. That's exactly what this is." "It's a loan," Cameron said. "We'll pay you back, with interest." I laughed. "Like you paid me back for the car, the wedding, the 3 businesses?" "That's not fair," Sienna said. "Cameron's been working really hard." "At what?" "His last job was part-time at a yoga studio. He quit after 2 weeks because the vibes were off." "Tyler," Dad said, voice low, "that's enough." "No. You know what's enough? $60,000. That's how much I've given him over 10 years. Silence. "And I'm still paying his student loans. For a degree he doesn't have." Mom looked like I'd slapped her. "We didn't ask you to do that." "Yes, you did. You asked me to co-sign. You said it was temporary. You said family helps family." "We meant—" "I know what you meant. Tyler has money, Cameron needs it, so Tyler should hand it over and shut up." Cameron stood up. "I don't need this. I came here for a nice family lunch. You came here to ask me for $25,000. I stood too. "You didn't come to see me. You came because you need something like always." "You're being selfish," Mom said. Her voice cracked. "Selfish? I've been paying for his life for a decade. I drive a car with no AC. I haven't been on vacation in 4 years. And I'm selfish?" I grabbed my jacket. "Tyler, please," Cameron said. "We really need this." I looked at him. "Then get a job, a real one, and keep it, because I'm not your backup plan anymore." I walked out, drove home, sat in my driveway for 20 minutes. My phone started buzzing before I even got inside. Mom. "Tyler, please don't leave it like this." Dad. "We need to talk. This is unacceptable." Cameron. "Dude, seriously? You're really going to blow up at me in front of everyone?" I turned my phone off, went inside, poured myself a whiskey even though it was 2 p.m. on a Sunday, sat on my couch and stared at the wall. I'd said no. Actually said it. Out loud. In front of everyone. It felt weird. Like I'd just discovered a muscle I didn't know I had. I turned my phone back on an hour later. 47 text messages. 47. I scrolled through them like I was watching a documentary about my own dysfunction. Mom had sent 12 messages, escalating from "please call me" to "I can't believe you do this to your brother" to "I didn't raise you to be this selfish." Dad sent 3. All variations of Call me when you're ready to apologize. Apologize. To them. For not giving Cameron $25,000. Cameron sent 15 messages. Started reasonable. Hey man, I get you're upset. Let's talk. Devolved into, you've always been jealous of me, and this is why you don't have friends. Sienna sent 11. 9 of them were voice messages. I played the first one. Tyler, I just want you to know that your chakras are really blocked right now. I can feel it from here. Cameron and I are sending you healing energy, but you need to be open to receiving it. Maybe try some breath work. I have a great YouTube channel I can send you. I deleted the rest without listening. The final 6 messages were from my Aunt Linda, my mom's sister, who I haven't spoken to in 3 years and who somehow got dragged into this. Your mother is devastated. Family is everything. You need to make this right. I didn't respond to any of them. Just turned my phone off again and went to bed at 7 p.m., like a grandpa with depression. Monday morning, I went to work. Sat at my desk, tried to focus on code. My phone buzzed. I'd turned it back on out of habit. Mom, can we please talk? I'm worried about you. The thing about my mom's worry is that it's always conditional. She's worried about me when it affects Cameron, when it disrupts the family equilibrium where I'm the ATM and he's the beloved screw-up. I texted back, I'm fine. I'm not changing my mind about the money. 3 dots appeared. Disappeared. Appeared again. Mom, it's not about the money, it's about family. Me. It's always about the money, that's the only time anyone calls. No response. That night I got home to find Cameron sitting on my porch. Just sitting there. On my porch. Like a sad puppy that had been abandoned at a fire station. What are you doing here? I asked, keys in hand. We need to talk. No, we don't. Tyler, come on. I drove 40 minutes. And I've been paying your student loans for 10 years. We're not even close to even. He stood up. Look, I'm sorry, okay? I'm sorry I asked. I didn't realize you were keeping score. I'm not keeping score. I'm keeping receipts. There's a difference. Cameron ran his hand through his man bun. I know I've made mistakes, but this house, it's not just for me. It's for Sienna, for our future, for the family we want to build. Then build it with your own money. I don't have that kind of money. I know. That's why you're here. He looked at me like I'd just kicked his dog. When did you become so cold? When I realized I was the only one who cared about my bank account. That's not fair. We care about you. You care about my wallet. It's not the same thing. Cameron's jaw tightened. You know what? Fine. Keep your money. But don't come crying to us when you're old and alone because you pushed everyone away. I'll take my chances. He walked to his car, the one I'd helped him buy, by the way, and drove off. I went inside, poured another whiskey, turned my phone off. This was becoming a pattern. Tuesday, I got an email from my dad. Subject: disappointed. Tyler, your mother and I raised you better than this family is supposed to support each other. Your brother is trying to build a life, and instead of helping, you're tearing him down. We're very disappointed in the man you've become. We'll give you some time to think about your behavior. When you're ready to apologize, we'll be here. Dad. I read it 3 times. Apologize. For not giving my unemployed brother $25,000. For having boundaries. For saying no. I didn't respond. Wednesday, Sienna showed up at my office. My office. How she got past security, I'll never know. Probably told them she was my sister and the crystals in her bag were emotional support stones. She cornered me in the break room. Tyler, we need to talk about your energy. Sienna, I'm working. This will only take a minute. I've been doing some aura readings and yours is very dark right now, almost black. That's not healthy. You know what else isn't healthy? Showing up at someone's workplace uninvited. I'm here because I care about you. Cameron cares about you. Your parents care about you. Funny how that care only shows up when someone needs money. She pulled a small cloth bag from her purse. I brought you some crystals. Rose quartz for compassion. Amethyst for clarity. And this one? She held up a purple rock that looked like she'd found it in a parking lot. Is for releasing financial blockages. I stared at her. Sienna, I'm not having financial blockages. I'm having boundary blockages. And you're one of them. That's very negative energy. Please leave. Tyler, leave, before I call security. She left. But not before placing the crystals on the break room counter and whispering, I'll leave these here in case you change your mind. I threw them in the trash on my way out. Thursday, my mom called 17 times. I didn't answer. She left voicemails. I listened to the first one. Tyler, I don't understand what's happening. You've always been such a kind, generous person. I don't know where this anger is coming from. Your brother made a mistake asking for money. He understands that now. But you're punishing the whole family. Your father won't even talk about you. This is tearing us apart. Good, I thought. Maybe it should. Friday afternoon, I was in a meeting when my phone buzzed. I glanced at it. Cameron. The house offer got accepted. We have 30 days to come up with the down payment. Please reconsider. I turned my phone face down. But the message sat in my brain like a stone. 30 days. They had 30 days to come up with $25,000 or lose the house. And for a split second, just a second, I felt guilty. What if this was their big break? What if this house changed everything for them? What if I was being too harsh? Then I remembered the food truck, the drop shipping business, the consulting firm, the Bali honeymoon, the 193 Instagram photos. The guilt evaporated. That weekend I did something I hadn't done in months. I checked my bank account, actually looked at it. Not the quick glance I usually did to make sure I could afford groceries, but really looked. I had $43,000 saved. $43,000. It had taken me 3 years to save that. 3 years of saying no to vacations, to new furniture, to dinners out. And if I gave Cameron $25,000, I'd be back to 18. Back to square one. Back to rebuilding while he spent my money on a house he'd probably lose in 2 years when he quit whatever job he'd convinced someone to give him. I closed the banking app, opened my email, started drafting a message to my family, deleted it, started again, deleted it again. Finally, I just wrote, I'm not changing my mind, please stop asking. Sent it to the family group chat. Muted the chat. Turned off my phone. Sunday morning, 1 week after the lunch, I was drinking coffee on my porch when a car pulled up. My mom's car. She got out, walked up to my porch. Looked older than I remembered. Can we talk? She asked. I'm not giving him the money. I'm not here about the money. I raised an eyebrow. She sat down on the porch step. Uninvited, but whatever. Your father and I have been talking, she said slowly, and we realize we may have put too much pressure on you over the years. May have. Love the commitment there. Cameron's always been difficult. We know that. But he's your brother. And we thought you understood that helping him was just what families do. It's not what families do, I said. It's what I do. There's a difference. She looked down. I know you're upset. And maybe we took advantage of your generosity, but we never meant to hurt you. You didn't mean to, but you did, for 10 years. We can fix this. How? By giving me back the $60,000 I've poured into Cameron's life? By apologizing for every guilt trip? By admitting that you've always put him first? She didn't answer. That's what I thought. She stood up. I love you, Tyler. We all do. Loving me and respecting me are two different things, Mom. And I'm done settling for one without the other. She walked back to her car, drove away, and I sat there on my porch, coffee going cold, wondering when exactly I'd become the bad guy in a story where I was just trying to survive. My phone buzzed. Cameron. Mom just told me what you said to her. You're unbelievable. Me. You're unemployed and asking me for $25,000. I think we have different definitions of unbelievable. Cameron. You're going to regret this. I turned my phone off. I felt something other than anger or guilt. I felt tired. Tired of fighting. Tired of justifying. Tired of being the villain for having boundaries. That night, I made a decision. I was done. Monday morning, I called my boss. Hey Mike, do we still have that remote position open? Denver office? Yeah, why? I want it. Mike paused. You moving? Yeah? It's yours. Same pay, same benefits. Start in 2 weeks? Perfect. I hung up and opened Zillow. Started looking at apartments in Denver, then Boulder, then Fort Collins. Places where nobody knew my name or my bank account balance. Tuesday, I went to the bank. I want to move all my accounts, I told the advisor. New bank, new numbers, everything. Patricia looked at me over her glasses. Family problems? How do you know? I've got a daughter with a gambling problem. Same energy. We spent 2 hours setting everything up. New accounts, new debit card, new checks. When we finished, Patricia handed me the paperwork. Don't feel bad about protecting yourself. Wednesday, I started packing. My neighbor Frank saw me loading boxes. Moving? He called. Work thing. Huh. Well, you've been a good neighbor. Unlike that Cameron guy who showed up drunk one night yelling about you being a terrible brother. I stopped. When was this? Frank shrugged. Couple months ago, figured he meant money. He always means money. Family's a bitch sometimes. Thursday, I accepted the Denver position called my landlord. He let me out of the lease early. 3 years, 0 complaints. He was cool about it. Then I started blocking people. Left the family group chat. Mom added me back. Left again. She added me back again. Third time, I turned off the setting that let people add me without permission. Then the contacts. Mom, blocked. Dad, blocked. Cameron, blocked. Sienna, blocked. I hesitated on my cousin Jenny. She'd always been decent. Never asked for money. But she'd tell my mom where I was. Blocked. Friday, Mom showed up at my house. I watched through the window. She knocked. Tried the door. Called my phone. Went straight to blocked. Stood there 10 minutes. Then left. I went back to packing. Saturday, I rented a U-Haul. Loaded everything I cared about. Clothes, laptop, books. Furniture could stay. Saturday night, 11 p.m., someone pounded on my door. Cameron. Tyler, I know you're in there. Your car's in the driveway. I didn't move. Open up. We need to talk. Silence. Fine. You want to know what happened? We lost the house. Couldn't get the down payment. Sienna's devastated. Mom and Dad aren't speaking to me. All because you couldn't help your own brother. I stood in the dark, listening. Screw you, Tyler. Screw you and your perfect life. He kicked my door. Not hard enough to break it, but hard enough. Then he left. Sunday morning, 6 a.m., I loaded the last box. Walked through the empty house one more time. Locked the door. Put the keys in the lockbox. Got in the U-Haul and drove. 12 hours. Podcasts and gas station coffee and a sandwich that tasted like regret. Around hour 8, my new phone buzzed. Kyle from college. Dude, your mom found me on Facebook, asking where you are. What did you tell her? That I haven't talked to you in months, but she's persistent. Like 5 messages. Block her. Already did. I pulled into Denver around 8 p.m. Capitol Hill. 1-bedroom apartment with a broken elevator. Carried everything up 3 flights of stairs. By midnight, I was done. Cracked a beer. Sat on the floor. Pulled out my phone. Opened a new note. Typed, things my family doesn't know. New city, new phone number, new bank accounts, blocked everyone, not coming back. Stared at it. Added one more line. Happy about it. Monday morning, I woke up on a Target air mattress. Walked to a coffee shop. Ordered the $9 latte. Sat by the window. Watched strangers walk by. Nobody knew me. Nobody had opinions about my choices. My phone buzzed. Work email. Welcome to the team. Then a text from an unknown number. Tyler, it's Mom. I got your new number from the phone company. Cameron and Sienna are in crisis. Call me. She'd called my phone company, convinced them to give her my new number. I called the company immediately. I need a security password on my account. Someone got my number without authorization. After that, I blocked mom's new number, blocked her email, deactivated Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. All of it. Gone. Tuesday, I started work. Met the team over Zoom. They were normal. Asked about my weekend. I said I'd moved. They said welcome. Nobody asked why. Wednesday, I bought furniture, a couch, a real bed, a coffee maker that made good coffee. Thursday, I went hiking. 3 hours. No destination. Phone didn't ring once. Friday, I joined a gym. Met a guy named Marcus who invited me to basketball on Sunday. You play? Not in years. Perfect. We need someone who makes us look good. Saturday, I went to a brewery. Sat at the bar. The bartender had a compass tattoo on her wrist. Name tag said, Rachel. You new in town? She asked. Just moved from back east. Escaping something? Family, she laughed. Same. Moved here from Ohio 2 years ago. We talked for an hour. About beer, about why IPAs taste like trees, about starting over. She slid me her number on a napkin. Coffee sometime, or more beer. I took it. Sunday, I played basketball with Marcus and his friends. Lost every game. Didn't care. Got tacos after. Sat outside even though it was cold. Marcus asked if I had family here. Nope, just me. Family's overrated anyway. Truth. Nobody guilt-tripped me. Nobody needed money. Nobody asked me to fix their lives. Just tacos and basketball and a phone that stayed quiet. That night, I sat on my new couch in my new apartment in my new city. Opened my banking app. $43,000. Still there. Still mine. Closed the app. Turned on a movie. Fell asleep halfway through. No nightmares. No guilt. No 3 a.m. panic about who needed what. Just sleep. 3 months in Denver, I'd built something that looked like a life. I had a coffee shop where the barista knew my order. I had Marcus and his basketball crew, pick up every Sunday, then breakfast burritos. I had Rachel. 4 dates in. She laughed at my terrible jokes and didn't ask about my family. My apartment had furniture now, plants that were somehow still alive, a kitchen that smelled like cooking instead of takeout. Work promoted me to senior developer. 15% raise. I opened a savings account called Vacation Fund. Started putting money in every paycheck. No guilt, just money. Growing. Then, on a Tuesday in February, my work phone rang. Denver number I didn't recognize. Hello? Tyler? It's Jenny. My cousin. The one I'd blocked. My stomach dropped. How'd you get this number? LinkedIn. Called your work main line. I closed my laptop. What do you want? Just checking if you're okay. Your mom's been worried? Jenny, I'm going to stop you. I left on purpose. Blocked everyone on purpose. Silence. She just wants to know you're safe. I'm safe. I'm great. Tell her I'm alive and to stop looking. I hung up. Went to LinkedIn. Made my profile private. Removed my work email. That night, Rachel and I met for dinner. You okay? She asked halfway through pad thai. You seem off. My cousin tracked me down through work. Rachel set down her fork. What did she want? To tell me my mom's worried. You going back? No, Rachel nodded. Good. You've seemed lighter here. I'd hate to see you go back. I'm not running, just choosing differently. That's allowed, you know. 2 weeks later, Saturday morning, I was at the coffee shop when someone sat across from me. Cameron. I looked up, blinked. How did you find me? Jenny told Mom you were in Denver. I found your building through property records. Called your landlord's office, said I was your brother. They told me you came here a lot. My chest tightened. You need to leave. Just hear me out. No. 5 minutes. I closed my laptop. You have 3. Cameron leaned back. He looked tired. The man bun was gone. I screwed up. The house, all the money, I took advantage, I know that now. Borrowed implies you paid it back. He winced. You're right, I'm sorry. Okay, you apologized, now leave. I got a job, a real one. Managing a co-working space, it's steady. Good for you. Sienna and I are in therapy, and I wanted to tell you face to face, you were right about everything I used you. I didn't say anything. Cameron stood. That's all. I'll leave you alone now. He turned to go. Cameron. He stopped. Do Mom and Dad know you're here? No, I didn't tell them. This was about you and me. I nodded. The job. You keeping it? 3 months so far. Longest I've held anything. Good. Keep going. He smiled, small but real. I will. Take care, Tyler. He left. I sat there staring at my coffee. Rachel texted. Still on for hiking? Me. Yeah, need it. That afternoon we hiked Red Rocks. Didn't talk much. Just walked. At the top, we sat on a boulder. Your brother showed up? Rachel asked. How'd you know? You've been checking your phone. He apologized, said he got a job, working on himself. You believe him? I don't know, maybe. Does it change anything? No, I'm still not going back. Good. My phone buzzed. Cameron texted from a number I didn't have saved. Thanks for hearing me out. You won't hear from me unless you reach out first. I didn't respond. Put my phone away. A month later, I got a letter. My mom's handwriting, forwarded from my old address. I almost threw it away, then opened it. Tyler, I don't know if you'll read this, but I needed to write it. I've spent 4 months trying to understand why you left, and I think I finally get it. We treated you like you owed us something. Like because you were successful, you had to fix everyone's problems. We never asked how you were, just what you could do for us. That wasn't fair. Your father and I see it now. How we enabled Cameron and took you for granted. I can't undo it. But I'm sorry. Cameron told me he visited you. Didn't tell me where. Said that was your business. But he said you're happy. I'm glad. You deserve that. If you ever want to talk, I'm here. But if not, I understand. Love, Mom. I read it twice, set it on the counter, stared at it. Then picked up my phone. Typed a text to the number I'd blocked. Deleted it. Started again. Deleted again. Finally. Got your letter. Thank you. I'm not ready to talk yet, but maybe someday. Sent it. 3 dots appeared. Take all the time you need. I love you. I didn't respond. Just set my phone down. Rachel came over that night. We ordered pizza and watched a bad action movie. Halfway through, she paused it. You seem lighter. My mom sent an apology. How do you feel? I don't know yet. It was good to hear. But it doesn't fix everything. It doesn't have to. You're allowed to take your time. 6 months in Denver, I took a vacation. Real one. Flew to Portland. Stayed in a hostel. Hiked. Ate food truck tacos. Didn't check my bank account once. On the last day, I sat by the water, pulled out my phone and scrolled through photos. None had my family. Just me. Rachel, Marcus, mountains, coffee shops, a life I'd built from scratch. I opened my banking app. Vacation fund empty, I'd spent it all. But savings had grown. 48,000 now. I transferred 500 to a new account. Named it Cameron Student Loans. Every month, I'd put a little there. When it hit 30,000, the amount I was still paying, I'd stop. Not because I forgave them, not because I owed them, but because I wanted to close that chapter, pay it off and be done. My terms, my timeline. Rachel picked me up from the airport. How was it? Really good. You look different, happy. We drove home. She stayed over, made breakfast in the morning. My phone buzzed. Jenny. Cameron got promoted. Thought you'd want to know. I showed Rachel. You going to respond? Yeah. Me. That's great. Tell him congrats. Jenny. You could tell him yourself. Me. Maybe someday. A year in Denver. Promoted again. Senior architect. 6 figures. Bought a car with working AC. Marcus and I started weekly poker. Rachel and I moved in together. Photos on the walls now. Me and Rachel at Red Rocks. Me and Marcus after one basketball win. My barista drew a heart in my latte. I still had blocked contacts. Social media still deactivated. Still didn't give my address to anyone from my old life. But the anger was gone. The guilt was gone. One Saturday, grocery shopping with Rachel, my phone rang. Cameron. I stared at it. You going to answer? Rachel asked. I don't know. You don't have to. I let it go to voicemail. Listened later. Hey, Tyler. I know you said not to call unless important, but I wanted to tell you. I paid off the car. The one you helped with. Took a year, but I did it. Doesn't make up for the 60,000, but it's a start. Hope you're doing well. I saved the voicemail, showed Rachel. You going to call back? Not yet. But maybe someday? Yeah, maybe. Before bed, I scrolled to Cameron's contact. Changed his name from blocked to Cameron. Didn't unblock him, just left him there. A possibility. A door not locked, just closed. That night, I fell asleep next to Rachel in a bed I'd bought with money I'd earned. In an apartment I'd chosen. In a city I'd moved to alone. No nightmares. No guilt. Just sleep. And in the morning, I'd wake up and make coffee and live a life that was mine. Not running. Not hiding. Just living. On my terms.